It's Jennifer from Yellow Brick Road Farm, and of course, you know, it's getting that time of year where we're gonna go live in the garden. So, just a little bit of an update on the garden. Right now, it's a beautiful day, and it's a solar eclipse today, so that's kind of fun too. So, recording this for prosperity, not because it's gonna happen soon. We've still got about another 3 hours before we see a partial eclipse, but that's exciting. So yeah, first time in I think 300 and some years, I think they said. So it's a beautiful day here on the farm. Horses are grazing over there and just beautiful. So been working really hard in the garden already. Okay, like you can see, I've prepped all the beds, done a lot of infrastructure work. Greenhouse is full, so I'm going to take you on a little tour. Okay, so first up is the cold frame. So the cold frame is actually full right now of seedlings. So we've got some spinach actually that was sowed last November, October, November, and that's been in hibernation all winter, and it's just sort of, we've been picking off of it and eating off of it, but it's just like it's come alive the last little bit. So we've been like drowning in spinach a little bit, but that's great. Not a bad problem to have. The other thing that's in here is some lettuce starts and some radishes, so some French breakfast radishes, which my grandson loves, and we have quite a bit of lettuce starts which are in there, and what I will do is transplant those out into the garden once they get going, and just leave a few in here to really take advantage of this microclimate that this cold frame offers. That is a really good investment if you're looking to extend your season. I know I have used mine like just intensively since we've got it, and it was very, very inexpensive to build, and we've used it. So this bed here was mint, and yeah, I know, but I planted it in pots, plastic pots, and they busted out. So that sort of, I've cleaned that all out. So that I did that early this spring and got that, and now I'll just do damage control for the rest of what I missed, and we'll get rid of that. I don't mind it growing. This is all mint as well. I don't mind it growing on the other side there, but I'm going to control it from coming inside the garden. So chives, I've divided and planted up some to give away. Always important this time of year. You want to give away your excess. It's wonderful to do, to share some food. And we love chives with our new potatoes and garlic and butter. My gosh, you guys, nothing better. So this first bed here is all onions. So I've planted red onions, yellow onions. Got about 200 sets in there of onions. Now I've got a lot of onion seed started as well. So the next bed over is going to be onions as well. I'm prepping that today, and that's going to they won't be planted out for a little bit. I'm hardening them off now, and they also in that bed will go shallots. Okay, so I took the mulch off the garlic today. Yesterday, I think. Actually, I took the pine bough mulch off. We do that so that the straw doesn't blow away. It also adds some nutrients, I believe, to my garlic, because my garlic's always huge. Just really planted about 150 bulbs here, and that is coming up gorgeous. I'm gonna take you down. You can see. Yeah. So I put a picture on Instagram today as well of that. So that's coming up beautifully. This row here, this long row here, will be all peas. Peas are a heavy feeder, and so I find they do really, really well next to the miniature horses paddock. Miniature horses can't get at them, which is great. But they do really well here. I did this last year, and we were just, and I succession planted them every 2 weeks out between 3 rows, and it worked really well. We had enough peas, and we are still eating peas right now, frozen from the garden, so that will get us through the season. I always try to grow enough food for us to last all winter, and that's worked. So this bed here will all be potatoes. So I'll be putting in early potatoes, red ones soon. Stop frowning, sorry. I don't mean to. It's beautiful out and I'm happy because I'm outside in the garden. But the sun is really bright, so squinting. So plant some red potatoes out here, and that will be our first season of potatoes. I'll also do some fingerlings. I hauled those out of the dark place where they've been growing like really long. They actually haven't been doing really long roots because they've been in a really dark spot, so they've just been starting to sprout in a good way. The really long roots mean that they're searching for light kind of thing. We don't have the light that close to them in the drawer, so it worked out really good that way. Over here is all the asparagus bed, and no sign of it yet. I keep looking just because I want to, I love it when we see. But I was looking back in my garden journal, so over here, sitting over here today, drinking a tea and my garden journal and recording everything, writing everything down. What I'm planting and when, and I was looking back, and we're about a week earlier to be planting than last year, which is no surprise. And also asparagus, we weren't eating asparagus till about May 20th, so it will be really interesting to see how early the asparagus comes up this year and how early we are able to eat that this year. So this is my greenhouse, okay? And we designed it this way so that the wind goes up and over. We live in a really windy island. Everybody knows the Cape Sable Island off the southwest coast of Nova Scotia, and it is so windy. So the wind goes right up over this. It's also self-facing. It's also very sturdy, made of hemlock, polycarbonate panels. Love it. This is all kale. I'm not a big fan of kale, but we grow it for the livestock. So I have rabbits, sheep that love it. Love to give it to them. Chickens, of course, as well. They are not welcome in my garden right now because they will, tear everything apart and start scratching around my seeds. So they've been kicked out since about February. I just took all their deep litter out of their coop and put it up back, and that's going to be used in the new growing high tunnel, which is going to go up back in another spot. Excited about that. That'll have to be a whole other video because I'm sure there's going to be drama because it's really windy here. So I'm going to try to really focus on making it really sturdy for adverse events, adverse weather, which we're known to have. So winds of 120 are not unusual here. So I'm going to try that. Yeah. So, but I know we need, just another thought about that. I know we need that though, because, we're definitely getting more wetter. And so what I really would like to be able to do is grow more under cover. So I'm hoping that this will help solve a problem that, will allow us to grow more under cover. So my winter sowing jugs, so really exciting. All of them are coming up. So there's parsley and onions and Welsh bunching onions and more onions, some lettuce, some dill, some perennial bunching onions. They're all there. Everything's coming up. I didn't do a lot this year with the winter sowing. I just don't have a lot of space. So when I start these things inside, I want to be sure I can, sort of look after them. But I definitely would probably do another set of those next year. So this bed wraps around here, and this is where I'm going to put the perennial bunching onions. I think that's a great spot for it. I've done a composter this year, which is great. I've got a 2-bin there, and I'm actually going to expand it to a 3-bin. This area will be squash. This is our neighbor's house and everything. We're going to be putting, I'm going to try to make sure the fence goes right across. It's always been just chicken wire, and I think this year I really want to extend this slab wood fence that we put up as a backdrop for my flowers and extend that right around past the greenhouse and onto the other side of the garden, right over to the Minnie's pen. So that's a spring project. That's a summer project. I think that's going to be a tuck away project. Yeah. So what else? Okay. So squash area here. This was really, really, fed well last year. I did a lot of, deep litter here last year. And so, I'm going to put my heavy feeders over here, which are my squash plants, and, we'll do that. Along this whole fence, I'm going to be putting zinnias. That whole thing is going to be just a cut area of zinnias. I've tidied that up this year. This is actually going to be a raised bed. I've got it started, and I'm going to take I've got some lumber that we salvaged from the deck. We had to tear our decks off this year. Got some lumber from that. Going to finish tidying up, making that a raised bed. And of course, this is going to be for pole beans. So we're going to do the pole beans there, and I'm going to do underneath the pole beans inside is some spinach for when it gets really hot. So I think that the pole beans will shade that, and that'll be really lovely. So yeah, so some more beds, and I'm getting ready to clean out the sheep house and put the spent sheep manure, because it is a manure that you can put on right away. It doesn't need to be aged. That's really great for putting in my pathways and making sure that it offers a slow release fertilizer. So I have sawdust in parts, and I have that. Peas. So I do a second area of peas, and I've already planted out some saber peas, and I just dug one up, and sure enough, they're sprouting. They're getting ready to break through to the surface, so I'm excited about that. So every 2 weeks, I will be sowing the peas until probably, oh goodness, till mid-June. Like, they don't like it really warm, right? So that's my plan anyway. This bed here, I have some fava beans and some carrots. So broad beans can go in when your peas go in. So I've done that. This is a new little area. I've always done my tomato hoop house here, but now with the greenhouse and with the high tunnel, I'm not going to do that anymore. So I've taken that and made it into an area that I'm actually going to grow cucumbers up and over. I'm covering this with chicken wire, and it's just a nice structure. It's metal, so I didn't want to waste it. So I'm going to cover that with chicken wire, grow my cucumbers up and over in each of these bins. I am growing, I got to fill them with soil. I just got them last year, salvaged them from a friend or my daughter. Yeah, I salvaged them from my daughter actually when she moved. I'm going to fill them with soil. I've been composting sort of organic matter in them for a while. And one is going to be for carrots, because I can't grow really long carrots on Cape Sable Island because we're on a bedrock. So I really wanted an area, like a bed, that I could kind of grow some longer carrots, so that's what I'm going to do in that bed. In this bed, I'm actually going to grow sweet potatoes. So I have a number of slips started. I'm hoping just to jam pack that full and be able to get a really good harvest of sweet potatoes this year. Had really good luck with them last year, even though it was the worst growing year that I have had in, 30 years of gardening. I must say last year was one of the most challenging. I won't say it was the worst. We still had enough food. We just didn't have spare food. We really struggled last year with the rain. We had a wildfire here, which created a lot of cloud cover. It made it really challenging for growing. And I made it it was really damp. Like, my garlic didn't dry well. My squash didn't dry well. It was just a really hard year. My squash didn't even turn orange hardly. The varieties that were supposed to, they stayed green. There was just so much cloud cover. It was just really hard year. I'm really hoping this year. I think that's why I'm just so eager to get out here and get everything started, because it's just like, oh, okay, it's gonna be better. It is. It's gonna be better. So this area here is going to do some more cucumbers in this area, and then these beds here will all be basically it'll be a combination of turnips and parsnips and celery, leeks, onions, cabbages, and I just succession plant. So that's the key to making this whole garden work is succession planting. I never have an empty space. As soon as one space is empty and I've harvested from it, I will replant it. So that is the key, I think, for making sure that you harvest a lot of food. We grow 80% of our own vegetables, and you know, and I think that that is really a key part of that is definitely succession planting. Over here we have the rhubarb, which is exploding today. That got all a nice top dressing of wood ash over the winter. And we have rhubarb coming up. We have four crowns of rhubarb that do really well here in this spot. And they're doing, you know, looking forward to be harvesting some more rhubarb. Got a lot of dill that went to seed last year, and I let it go to seed, so it's all coming up now. So this whole area here will be dill. And I use a lot of dill in chowders and soups and, you know, with fish and things like that. So that has been a blessing to have. And I've just, like I mentioned, I let it go to seed and it just comes back. So every year. We've got raspberries. So the raspberries start here and go all the way down. My goal is to eventually, you know, have a really nice raspberry patch that we can harvest a lot of raspberries off of. I have friends that grow strawberries, and I have friends that grow blueberries commercially. So I'm not really concerned about growing those because I really want to support them as well, and they do such a good job. So I don't really grow those two crops at all. They are our two main crops for eating, but I will for fruit, but I buy them from them and support them that way. But nobody does raspberries, so that's my you know, so this is our other fruit, raspberries, rhubarb. You know, we do I do get peaches from the valley. I usually get corn from the valley. I did grow corn successfully last year for the first time. It was a weird garden year. You know, so grew corn successfully, and this year I'm going to really try to succession plant my garlic after my garlic is hauled. So what I'm going to do is put corn in while you know, in between the bulbs of garlic, and then once I haul the garlic, the corn hopefully will be up enough, because it's a heavy feeder. It'll do well over there by the horse's paddock, you know, and they get just, you know, get that fertilizer from in the ground, just, you know, the but not direct. So anyway, whoops, sorry. So that's what's going on in the garden. And yeah, I really hope you're going to get out and get some things planted. Oh, I forgot. We're going to put 2 arches here, the cattle panel arches. I do those every year. One's going to have beans on it. Pole beans, and I think the other one I'm going to try to do, you know, try to list some bush beans up it, or some sweet peas. I'm not sure. Anyway, either one of those would be good, because yeah, I have still a lot of green beans canned from last year. So, or not last year, but the year before. We're still working through those from 2 years ago. So I don't think that I will grow much more beans this year, other than for fresh eating, of course. So yeah, and that's what's going on in the garden here. I didn't show you the greenhouse, so if we'll go up here and in the greenhouse. So this is full right now, but once the tomato plants that I've started inside are ready to go in here, I'll clean all this out and either transplant it outside, so, or just get rid of it. It's been in here all winter, so we've got quite a bit. Oh, what's the temperature in here today? Whew, it is downright balmy. Hold on. Whew, it's almost 30 degrees in here today. It's very warm. I have flashing here, which reflects the light. Yeah, so you can see the kale that we planted last fall has, you know, it's just really plentiful. We've been eating off that as well. I'm not a kale lover, I mentioned it before, but we've been using it. I've got carrots in here. I've got, I thought that was kale, and I'm second guessing myself now. I wondered if it was cabbage, but anyway. I'm letting one go to a head just because I'm not sure. Anyway, I had these seedlings all out today, hardening off, because they're going to be the first ones to go out into the garden. All of them have their second leaves. They are ready to go. I've given everything a top dressing of Stormcast seaweed. So from Bear Cove in Liverpool. I also do the worm castings from up Wedgeport way. I just give everything a little top up with that, a little feed, as well as our manure compost. So that's kind of, it's time because the seedlings have been, for 2 weeks now. They need a little feed, and going to do that. Already did that, sorry. And, so before I plant them out, I just want them to have a little extra nutrition before they go in the ground. Yeah, and so just a few things. I've got some salad pots here that I did up for some friends. Spinach, kale, and lettuce in there, seedlings. I've got some beets here, and they are almost ready to harvest. They're getting quite big bulbs. I've put some cucumbers in here to see how they would do. They were cucumbers that my grandson wanted to plant, even though I knew it was too soon. I let him do that so we could have an experiment. So you can see that actually one of them has got quite a bit of damage on it from the frost. Because this is in a heated greenhouse, and this one actually, the frost killed it. So I don't think it'll make it. This one looks okay, but it's got, again, some brown on the leaves. Yeah. So, but it's good to do little experiments like that, and especially with kids, you want to help them learn, about different growing seasons and growing, and so I also put some tomato plants in here that he wanted to plant as well. They really aren't doing well at all. They don't look, they have some frost damage as well. But it's great. That's what it's all about. That's what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be about learning, how to grow and what grows well, and pushing your seasons. And, I'm really thankful to have done that with him. Yeah, and I really hope that you guys are able to get out and start planning your spring gardens. If you have any questions, shoot them my way in the comments. I'd love to hear them. Yeah, and just grow what you can this year. It's, not everybody gets the opportunity to grow. And if you have the opportunity, if you have some land, or you have some space, or you have the will or desire, man, just cash in on that. That is like gold. That is definitely a currency worth keeping in this day and age. Anyway, so have a great day, guys. Don't look at the sun around 3:30. The solar eclipse, just stay steady, okay? All right. First garden vlog of the year, and over and out.